What's up with y'all? Angelina here. I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, I'm doing a video, I'm finished completing this video, and she was like, oh, did you make a video on you talking about how you found the practice? And I was like, nah, actually, I didn't. I was doing a kids video. So it just made me realize, thanks, Monica, looking out, I need to create a video uh, about talking about the practice, because yeah, I'm out here teaching it and giving it, but not everybody even knows uh, that I created the kids books, but also that I'm out here giving the practices. And why am I even giving the practice? I found myself in a couple of places that it costs like $600 a ticket to get this information that we should all be taught. None of this is taught in school at all, or even as like a nurse or doctors don't even learn this basic practice of mindfulness. And I've been in situations where the techniques that I use help in ICU, in like real life death situations that nurses and doctors didn't even have a thought of helping this human being out in a very simple mindfulness technique way. Once you know it, I say simple, but if you don't know it, you don't know it. But so yeah, so I found mindfulness through my doctor, and it was my last year of college. And in my last year of college, I lost my physical capability. I had a shock shoot up my hand, and that was the first sign of carpal tunnel. And I was working graveyard from like 11 to 10 to 6:30 in the morning, 11 to 7:30 in the morning. And I was cleaning like my 17th room at Alta Bates Hospital, where they have all the babies. 17th room later, I feel a shock shoot on my arm. I drop the mop, and that was the first sign of carpal tunnel. Well, I didn't get off of work right away. Of course, the job tries to have you still work, right? So finally, I got to the point where my hand was bulging out, and I was like, "Look, work doctor, this ain't right," So I started seeing my own doctor. My own doctor was like, "Man, that's the first step. That's the first stage of carpal tunnel. They should have told you and put you off of work." Well, they didn't. So I worked for a while. I was even on light duty, and I worked on light duty, and my doctor was like, "Look, this isn't light duty, because if it was light duty, your hand wouldn't still be bulging out. You need to give yourself a rest." So I was overcompensating. If I couldn't pick it up with my right hand, then I pick it up not just with my left hand, because my left hand was bulging. I pick it up under my armpit. So I was carrying like linen for the bed and everything under my arms, right? And it just kind of eventually kicked out into the neck, and into the back, right? And so my last year of college, I was going through all this physical capability and just losing it, right? So I had my cousin, shout out to Randy, thank you so much, Randy. He drove me to school a couple times. And that route to school a couple times, he had to be my hands. And so he was my hands editing some photos. I'd sit there and I'd be like, cuz like, make it a little darker, a little lighter here. I was adjusting my photos. So I graduated, okay? Yeah, graduated from college, right? And my last year graduating from college, not just was I losing my own physical capability, or lost my own physical capabilities, my cousin and my brother got shot. My brother got shot in the hand. He's still alive, perfectly fine. My cousin got shot in the back of the head. He lives. He's perfectly fine with a bullet in the back of his head. It's a miracle. I thank a meditation practice and a love of prayer for that. But he's perfectly fine, which is crazy. But a few months after that, my uncle passed away. He got cancer, and he passed away from the cancer. And then a few months after that, my cousin, his daughter, passed away. And it was very sudden. She was my age. It was a huge loss for everybody, but it was very unexpected. So at this last year of graduating, y'all, and I graduated, but within this year, of graduating and then being a year out, of school, like, yeah, you're a photographer now, go out there, be out there with all your work, go out there, go to New York, show all your photos, and everybody loved it. It's like, yeah, right. I wasn't feeling it, my whole body, everything, my heart was lost, my physical capability was lost, everything was gone, So I might be a different story nowadays, but Scratch that. But after losing my physical capabilities, and after having everything being lost left and right, you know, my heart was sad. I was physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually breaking. You know, I wanted to end it. I didn't want to be here no more. What was the point of being here? Everybody gone, right? Everybody just going left and right, just gone, right? And so I had to go to my doctor, and I told my doc, I was like, look, doc, I'm losing it. You feel me? I had to my school ended up getting over on me. I couldn't graduate because of 3 credits. So kids was getting handed 6 credits. But for myself, I was short 3 credits, and they wouldn't just let me go with it. And so I had to continue a summer course only for 2 credits. Right, 2 credits. I took a summer course for 3 credits just to get those 2 credits that they wouldn't give me, right? So anyways, whatever. I went to the school, got my 2 credits, graduated. But this is after like really about to think you about to walk stage and get handed a diploma and get to sit in the mail one night and then get told that you got to go to summer school. So I still continued at school, right? Finished it. But my last year of school, all this was happening. Mind you, this is just a year, okay? This isn't like the rest. I'm 34 now, but this was a year in my life. This ain't got to do with the rest of my lifetime, right? So there's a lot that happens up into that moment, right? So I went from, you know, in my last year doing this to eventually like and losing it, you know, like I came, you know, I come to my doctor's appointment dripping sweat. You know, I'm addicted to everything. I'm popping everything, addicted to everything. And when I say like addiction, y'all, people be like, "Oh, I don't think you weren't addicted to anything. You know, you was cool." Look, uh, everybody has their own ways of living. Okay, and the way I was living was very, very heavily addicted, very heavily. Multiple things, not just one or this or that this day or this that day. No, like on. You feel me? Like on. Um, but it got to the point where, you know, with all this loss, I was heavily on everything, and I didn't notice, but I was withdrawn, and so I went through a state where I was trying to get. I didn't want to be off all these pills. You know, I didn't want to be off all the pills and alcohol because I was finding myself face flat on the ground so many times. And yeah, you know, we have our buzz nights, you feel me? We have, but I'm talking another state, another level, okay? And so, you know, I would go into the doctor's office, dripping sweat, pacing back and forth, like, where's this doctor at, man? Like, you need to hurry up, you feel me? Like, you need to get up out of here. You over there talking about tamales, like, what the? So he was like, Anthony, come here, come here, come here. He seen me pacing. He was like, come in here. So he was like, what's going on? I'm like, Doc, what you mean what's going on? Like, everything, you feel me? Like, everything is going on, you know? Like, just, I'm bugged because, like, I can't handle this shit. It's too much going on. I'm trying to graduate. I can't think. I can't sleep. I can't even eat. You feel me? Like, all kind of things going on. And so he was like, okay, Anthony. He was like, calm down. He was like, look, let me tell you something. And he's like, if you really want to get this down, you really want to get your health down, and you don't, you really want to graduate, and, you know, you really want to handle it, of course, you know, if you really want to graduate, like, of course, I went to school, who doesn't really want to graduate, you going to school, like, come on now, so he was like, I'm going to put you through this MBSR program, and this MBSR program, you got to go to the classes. The first 10 are free, ain't nothing free, but the first 10 was free, the doctors, the hospital paid for it. It's like, if you go to the first 10, you on time, you don't miss it. And another 10 are free. So I did all 20. I got it. Now, in this, you know, it took a while to get. I would go every day in my backyard and practice more and more on my own. It wasn't just this program and this matter of like so many times that I like actually got all this healing. You feel me? Like, that program was to get all the information, go home and do it. You know what I mean? So I got all the information. I had this moment though where I call it the breaking calm moment of my life, because I went from like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything breaking to calm, like pitch black, dark silence. And I opened my eyes and I looked at that lady and I was like, what you just do to me? Like, for real, what you just do to me? Cause I just like went from breaking, crying, making mentally shattering all kind of stuff on my mind to peace and darkness. Like, so dark, so beautiful and peaceful. to hold completely my being relaxed. And she was like, well, what we've been doing is called mindfulness. And I was like, I don't even know what this lady just said. I was like, is this available to kids? Like, how come I didn't know this as a kid? Like, I didn't know that this could happen. I could use my breath for this, you know? And she was like, no, I think, I don't think so. She was like, actually, no, I think it did kind of start recently. There's a place called Mindful Schools, and they've been doing it for the last year. And so I was like, all right, so I'll hang, I go home. I call my folks. I call Rav. Shout out to Rav. Just a beautiful being, a beautiful soul out there. Thank you so much. Because she called me back within a day. I met with her like in a matter of 3 days in the city. We ate some lunch, and she was, in a matter of a day, she was like, hey. She was like, there's this happening in your hometown. They doing the practice out there. They're giving it to the kids. So I linked up with them in the hometown. I worked for the nonprofit, worked there for 3 years, got up out of there. And I been given the practice continuously, given 8-week program for the schools. But most important is that I just give the information out there that this is something happening, because there's a lot of chaos going on, you guys. There's so much going on. And so how within that chaos do we continue with the balance? You guys, our next system is the prison industrial system, and it's been going on for a very, 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 very long time. But at this point, it's that they're getting a lot of money and cashed out for the bodies, that per body that they're putting in these prisons. They're getting a lot of money for it. And so that's, a certain percentage of people is only getting this money. So we have to, as human beings, first of all, live through all of this, find a balance through all of it, and get to know our own emotional balance, which they don't teach us in schools until we are breaking on our deathbeds, right, or peeled out and losing it, right? But to get this information and understand that the breath, your own breath will heal you. You just have to give the time for it. And they say, that nobody will watch a video more than 5 minutes. I do believe that we don't have the patience for it, but some people, we will get through this whole video. And that to me is crazy. That is crazy, but it's so real that we don't even have 5 minutes for ourselves to actually get some real information to align ourselves, our whole being, our whole communities, our whole this what we're in right now. But shout out to everybody out there that's trying to balance in this state of being. I know we all are. So let's come together. Let's be one. I love y'all. Get some more practices coming soon. But first, I just wanted to kind of tell you how I even found the practice. For all this madness out there, this is how I found the practice. And so let's move through this, y'all, with the most focused heart, spirit that we got. Much love to y'all. Doing the mindfulness practice, in the backyard every day becomes more intensified. So what I was learning with them, taking it home, it wasn't just mindfulness that I was starting and beginning to learn. I began to do it on my own and began to do heavy meditation, and also doing the practices of bringing in the air, bringing my breath in through the back of my neck or in through the skin of my pores, and creating that healing. So the mindfulness, understanding what they were teaching me and taking it home and going in more of a depth of my own kind of meditation and going in and doing a body scan kind of in depth, each kind of centimeter or even smaller than that, and linking up every part of the body and creating even more healing on that. So understanding, what the information is, gathering this information, and taking this information even further on your own. So, taking in the techniques and actually doing them while I'm on the video here, or if you see me in person, but taking what you have and actually applying it every day at a certain amount of time for your own day. And then building on that. I know we have busy lives. Number one, key to taking care of ourselves, and our own self-healing. It's just pausing, or speed movement, while you're actually knowing, like, actually, I'm going for speed movement right now. Not all the times am I completely still. I can't just be still, so I need to move. So going on those fast pace, understanding when that fast pace needs to happen, and then you'll be able to kind of slow down, bringing in the breath with movement with your hands. I'll do do another thing where it's like the 5 elements of body tapping, cycling a lot through. So you guys kind of get in these practices first, taking them in, practicing with them, doing them on your own time. Like, okay, what I learned, I'm gonna practice them outside out here for a little bit, and then you begin to kind of doing it on your own. So not just the ones where you can see visually, but laying down with the practices. I really suggest laying down with them. Sometimes you're gonna fall asleep, wake up. Wake up, continue where you just left off on, finish the practice, but if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. That's perfectly fine. You're able to put your body in that relaxed state, which is beautiful. We don't ever feel that state until we fall asleep. So we saying, I'm gonna consciously do this practice, and feel this relaxation, so when I move through this world, I'll be able to have a steady focus, a steady balance. But it takes practice. We're here in this whole world, in our life, to understand ourselves so we can share this world and understanding and movement with our children. But to understand for ourselves, how are we working? What's going on? What's going on in the body? What's going on in my emotional state? Because we're not taught this until we're older, or it's life on death, that we can actually begin to heal ourselves. And so that does take time, and it takes community as well. So reaching out to some people who would just have an open ear, you know what I mean? Like, who could just listen to you for a little bit, that's huge. And bringing in that community and that strength. So y'all, I just wanted to share with y'all how I found these practices. This is another one of my space of all spaces, actually getting a little intimate being up in here, y'all.